So this particular video isn't some huge breaking news related to the Legend of Zelda franchise, but I did think this news was pretty stunning and worth talking about, and I wanted to start a conversation and see what you guys thought in the chat below. So Nintendo just got their latest financial report, and over on Nintendo Life, Ollie Reynolds put together an article about a really fascinating discovery. During the first quarter of 2024, which is a 3-month stretch, Zelda Breath of the Wild actually outsold Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That is insane. It's been a little over a year since the release of Tears of the Kingdom, but Breath of the Wild came out all the way back in 2017. I think there's various different factors at play here. Sure, Tears of the Kingdom is a little bit more expensive than Breath of the Wild, seeing that Tears is a $70 game, while Breath of the Wild is usually still $60. There is some instances where Breath of the Wild can be discounted, and maybe that's why some Nintendo Switch owners decided to pull the trigger on Breath of the Wild instead. But I gotta say, if you're Nintendo and you're looking at this, at the very least, it seems to be a really odd and concerning trend. I understand those variables are at play, but even with those factors being considered, I never would have guessed that a game that's 7 years old is gonna be selling better than a Zelda game that just came out last year. So personally, I think this begs the question, is this possibly an indication on how the two games are viewed overall? I'll ask you guys in the chat, did you like Breath of the Wild more than Tears of the Kingdom, or vice versa? Personally, I think Breath of the Wild meant more to me as a gamer and as a general Zelda fan, just ever so slightly. Yes, Tears of the Kingdom technically offers more from a gameplay standpoint, but I didn't feel like it was this big, monumental leap forward in gaming that Breath of the Wild was. A lot of the Hyrule map was just retreaded parts that I felt like I had already experienced in Breath of the Wild. As much as I loved the Ultra Hand mechanic, it did start to wear off on me eventually. And I gotta be honest, as a longtime Zelda fan, I am a traditional Zelda fan, and I was hoping that Tears of the Kingdom would do a little bit more to bridge that gap between the classic fans and the Breath of the Wild fans, and they didn't exactly do that. They offered a much bigger world with the depths and the Sky Islands, but as far as returning to that linear dungeon format, I truly miss that. I miss the classic dungeons. And yes, they were temples in name, but they were temples in name only. In some ways, they felt like they were even easier than the Divine Beasts before them. I mean, they essentially function just like the Divine Beasts, in the sense that you have to go just hit 4 or 5 switches, and then you're in a boss fight. That was my biggest complaint with Tears of the Kingdom. Did I love the game? Yes, and I've put in about 500 hours into Tears of the Kingdom. But it just felt like it was missing something. And for me, when I'm looking back at Zelda games and remembering the impression and the joy that I had playing those games, I do think I have to have Breath of the Wild just a little bit higher on that list. I'm not saying there's a wrong way or a right way to view this, that's just the way I see it based on my experiences and based on how much I enjoyed the games playing them. But again, as a Zelda fan who has been a Zelda fan for over 30 years, I'm really itching for some changes in direction for this franchise. And Tears of the Kingdom was anything but that. So just maybe these Q1 sales were an actual reflection of how people view the games up against one another. But I don't know, that's just how I feel about it, so I'm curious, how do you guys feel about it? Which game did you like more? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more Metroid and Zelda content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.